With the grace of Lord, we receive the body and the mind, and this mind is the tool through which we are living our lives. And the mind, if it's not trained, then mind can be your worst enemy. And if mind is trained well, then it is your best friend. No college, no university, nobody is teaching about how to train the mind. Nobody is doing that. So all the syllabus is taught, every relevant to what the society needs, not what you need. Society needs clerks, engineers, doctors, physicians, laborers, masons, carpenters, plumbers, accountants, lawyers, CPA. Society doesn't need enlightened beings. Society doesn't need an awakened person. So society trains a child so that one day that child can be of some use to the society to run this machinery of family, of country. So they need people who will go to war, get themselves killed, and they'll be called a martyr. Although no politician will send his own children into army. So they want somebody else's child to get killed, never theirs. Society needs people to run this machinery, family, government, countries, etc., etc. They don't need, society doesn't expect you to be a sane person. So they are very okay if you are depressed, frustrated, broken, psychiatrically unfit. They say, it doesn't matter to me, you just do your work. If you're an accountant, do your accounts. If you're engineering, do the engineering. If you are a doctor, a physician, treat. If you're a surgeon, go and treat. But we are not bothered about what is your mental state. Although when we meet one another, we ask first question is, how are you? Right? How are you? Mostly the answer is, please tell me what is the answer? What is the answer which you give? I'm fine. Is that a true answer? So you are a liar. And society is okay with this lie. But if somebody is little more friendly to you and more open to you and more close to you, then you might talk about that, well, my body is not doing well, I am hurting, my arthritis is bad, my cough is bad, I can't sleep properly. And then they'll say, okay, go to a doctor. So you go to a doctor and the doctor gives you a cough syrup which actually has more of a sleeping portion into that. So you take a cough syrup and then the syrup in itself comes with the warning, don't drive, don't operate a heavy machinery. It will be risk to your life and to others. Even if you're sneezing hard, they'll give you a tablet or a spray and will say, use it. And actually all these sprays are just numbing your system so that you don't feel that itch, which is making you take a sneeze. So they are numbing your sinuses. So the brain is not receiving the trouble information and they say it is the treatment best which we can give to you. But again, all these medicines come with the warning, you might feel drowsy. And now everybody is expecting you to work. So they are not worried about if you're sneezing or coughing or something. As long as it is not a Zika fever, they are not worried. Or an H1N1, they are not worried. Just a fever, doesn't matter, take a tablet, go to work. So work, work, work. Once in a while, when you think and you try to think what's happening to me, and that's sometimes when you feel little low. When you feel little low, then your friends and your relatives say, okay, let's go shopping. It will pick you up. It just picks you up. But then your credit card comes with a limit sometimes. And then you are already in a debt. So you cannot shop more. So there is a limit, but you still shop. And after carrying those shopping bags and spending your money, you feel good. Oh my God. You buy all those things which you don't need. And especially if it is a sale, you love that. So you'll buy all the woolens in summers and all the summer clothes in winter. And stuff your closets and then throw it next year out because the fashion has changed. So you feel low, then somebody comes forward and say, okay, let's go to a bar. Have a drink. And their afternoon times is called the happy hours. So to lose your unhappiness, you need a bar which gives you a happy hour. So buy a drink and another drink comes free and people are so happy. To put that poison in their body. What does liquor do? Liquor hits via the bloodstream to your brain, especially your prefrontal brain, takes away your ability to think right, makes your brain go fuzzy. So you even lose the ability to walk straight, and somebody is helping you out, and people just fall and they injure themselves, and sometimes they drive a car after drinking, they injure somebody else too, and themselves too. But they say this is what picks them up. So in America, there is a no home which doesn't have a mini bar. They might have a big bar, some have really big bars, that the regular commercial bar will be ashamed of that bar. It will be so big and so good. And then some will have mini bar, and some will have, stacked up in their cupboard somewhere. Because somebody in their family objects, why do you drink? And then you wonder, why I'm in so much stress? And this mama is always saying, don't drink, don't. If I don't drink, how will I work? If I don't drink, how will I live? If I don't drink, how will I survive? To survive the nonsense of the life, you need a drink. And now with the US government opening up, some states are opening up the law of the marijuana. So now you can have a legal marijuana and smoke anywhere and everywhere and have a great time. You don't need to go to a bar. And I've heard that now these people are growing cannabis even in their backyards. Once illegal is now legal. So when mind is in stress, it just tries to cope up in one way or the another. Whatever best you know. Some people gamble. They go to casino. They have money, they can spend, they can lose some, they can win some. So they love to be in a casino. And casinos are popular. And nowadays you have mobile casinos. Your mobile carries a casino. Now coming back from Chicago, my co-passenger was playing cards in his phone. So all the 2 hours, he was playing cards. It's bad to have a peep what the other person is doing, but when somebody is holding phone so long, you are going to check what is he doing on the phone. And it turned out to be, he was busy from Ikka to Badshah. So an imaginary queen, an imaginary Ghulam, and an imaginary Badshah, and the imaginary Aces, and he's playing with himself. There is nobody else, but he's playing with himself. And at one time he laughed out loud. I really wanted to ask, but I could see that he must have won from himself. If there had been a psychiatrist, then the person would have said, oh, he has bipolar, or he is a schizophrenic, because he has split himself into two. And he is playing with himself, and he is happy when he has won. And another time he gave a big sigh. I could understand he has lost from himself. People have unhappiness, they are stressed out. Then people have everything in their home, possibly what a money can buy, and yet they are in a stress. They have a very good family, but they still feel stress. When they have too much money, they have stress. When they have no money, they have stress. When they have children, they have stress. When they have no children, they have stress. When they are not married, stress. When they are married, stress. When they are in the US, so much stress. Let's go India to de-stress. They go India, no electricity, so much stress. They come back, US will be fine. But didn't you left US to have good time? So people keep on changing the places. People keep on changing wives sometimes. Yeah, that's why the divorce is happening. Sometimes women are changing husbands too. They say, no, I cannot live with you. I'm not happy. Why? Why she is not happy? Why he is not happy? Because the mind is demanding. You know, a husband might be demanding an Aishwarya Rai, but what he gets is a big fatso. Or too skinny. You know, if you want to be unhappy, you will create a reason to be unhappy. And woman was dreaming for a hunk and a handsome man with thick wallet. But what she got was a big stomach, a paunch, and just few hairs on the head. In 30s, young boys are losing their hair. There is some sitting in front. Even now, hair is gone. Do you know why? Hair is gone because of too much of stress. In Ayurveda, we call it a pitta aggravation. When too much pitta aggravation happens, when there is too much of anger, when there is too much of sleepless nights, the first thing which will be damaged is going to be your hair, second would be your skin. And that's why women have the dark eye circles. And women have freckles. And women have hormonal issues. And there is then trouble which begins to brew in the body, but actually it started from the mind. Stress doesn't happen in the body, stress happens in mind. You never say, my hand is very stressed today, or my foot is stressed, or my nose is stressed. You can lie a whole day, you still don't grow nose like Pinocchio. So your nose is never stressed. Lips are never stressed. What is stress? Your mind. And mind can create hundreds of reasons to be. And sometimes when there is nothing to worry, then they worry, how come I have no worry? Everybody say I have something to worry. I am recalling a woman went to a surgeon, her family doctor, and she says, can you please do a surgery onto me? I said, what's that question? Why should I do a surgery onto you? She said, well, in my kitty party, all the ladies have got some or another surgery done. A knee replacement or a tonsillitis or this or that. Please do some surgery. I have nothing to say. I can't get sympathy. Nobody gives attention to me. Everybody has a sad story. I have no sad story. Doctor said, but I cannot do just any surgery onto you. She said, but why not? If nothing else, then I believe you can take my appendix out. I can lose that. Then people will pay attention onto me. We are so craving for attention. And we are so craving for some kind of, the ego wishes to have a trip. I am important. I have a place. I have a position. So you're stressing out, working out physically more because your mind is wanting something. That something can be anything. So your mind is seeking and seeking and seeking and seeking, hence the body is working. And people, I have heard, are doing 3 jobs here, sometimes 2 jobs. Some say, I don't do 2, 3 jobs, I have a big business. So I am 18 hours in my office, I have a change of clothes there and a bathroom there. I asked, what about wife? He said, who cares? She comes, cooks my food, sometimes sends me. And then I can do hello, hi on Skype. For what is the use of Skype? Let the children be there wherever they want to be. Let the wife be wherever she wants to be. So she is busy with her friends, goes to Vegas, goes to her own fun trips, goes to cruises. And I am very busy in my work and I have given her too many credit cards and she is very happy with that. I said, okay. Then she should have married a credit card. Why did she marry you? And he said, maybe for my credit cards only. A mind which is filled with too much stress, this mind will now create some damages into the body. And there is a deep relation in between your mind and body. Now, body is visible, mind is not. You have never seen your own mind. Have you? Nobody has seen their mind. So if somebody expects you, mind your own business, then you can say, I have never seen my mind, so I cannot mind my mind. And because I cannot mind my mind, I am going to mind your mind. So I am going to object about what you do and what you say and what you wear, and I'll have an opinion about everything and condemn you for doing everything. One obsession which the modern man is having is that we are too obsessed with others. What others are doing. What are they wearing? What are they eating? Where are they going? What are they doing even on their phone? So if 10 people are playing Pokemon, they want to play Pokemon. Last time when I was in the US, I was so surprised people are walking with their phone like this and they're just walking and walking. I said, what's happening? I was in the park. They said they're looking for that Pokemon. I said they should have been looking for their own mind first. But we are not looking for our mind, but we are looking for an imaginary game character. How much time we have to waste? And then these very same people say, I cannot meditate, I have no time to meditate, but they have time to play Pokemon. They don't know what to do with their own time. And the biggest punishment for anybody is to be in a house and be alone. Be in an apartment and be alone. Say just for a moment your mobile phone is taken away, your cable is cut, your internet is now nowhere, and you are just left with yourself. How would you like to be? That would be like a jail, a solitary confinement. We are running away from our own mind. We don't want to deal with our own mind issues. That is why we want to deal in the cards and play with it. We want to deal with shopping and play with it. We want to go to window shopping. If not, you don't have money, you'll still go for window shopping. Why? Because we don't want to deal with our own mind. And mind is in deep grief and misery and pain. And somehow nobody else is harming you, but it is your own loved ones who harm you sometimes. Because we give so much attention and importance to others, so what others say to us bothers us so much. Even a single small word can offend you so big that your blood pressure will be shooting up, or you can go into depression. Just one single word is enough. That is enough. And that is what I call the power of mind. A mind which is in stress, a mind which is in distress, a mind which is in too much of desires, a mind which is expecting too much from others, this mind will create a disease. The disease is called stress. In a way, I would say stress isn't an external thing which comes from outside in your system. Stress is something which you create with great excellence. And you have beautiful stress in you. And if there could be an Olympics, who is stressed more? Everybody would be victorious, would be winning an award. So people want to deal with stress, and that way is by not accepting that they have stress. Denial is the one way. No, I don't have any stress. Why would I have stress? I have family, I have money, I have car, I have house. Why would I be stressed? No, I don't have any stress. Denial is the first way, the way with which people won't even accept they have it. And now, if you don't even accept a problem, how will you deal with the problem? If you are in a denial, say somebody has a cancer, and if you deny that you have a cancer, how will you get treatment of the cancer? So the first step is in this line by accepting that yes, I have stress. But well, again, because we so love to speak lies, hence I know many people over here would still say that no, I don't have it. I can give you just few examples. So you check on your own, and maybe you can say yes. Yeah? And if the answer is yes. And you can say no if the answer is no. Okay. Do you get frequent headaches? Do you get irritated easily? Yeah, good. Do you get engrossed in compulsive and uncontrolled thinking? Uncontrolled thinking. Does that happen? Please respond. Otherwise, I would feel you are sleeping. Okay. Do you, if you're say sitting in a waiting room or in a bus or something, do you have a habit of biting your own nails or tapping your feet or scratching your head? If a challenge comes to you. Good. Do you talk compulsively? Big liars. Okay, if anybody objects to you for anything, do you have an attitude, as in we say in Punjabi, tennu ki? Yes or no? There you go. So if you have said yes 60%, then I proclaim you have stress. Yeah, that is the thing. That we don't need to hide it. We don't need to hide it. Because if you will hide your own stress, then you are closing the doors to yourself. Now what happens is that if you have stress, then it takes a toll on your body. Let's talk about the body. First toll is, if the stress has element of depression into it and greed into it. Now see, I am making a pot of puri for you. I am making a dish now for you. There is a stress, but there is some depression or sadness into it, or there is a greed into it. Then it will have an expression in your body in form of constipation. Now I ask, how many of you have constipation? Now you might wonder that we came here to learn about stress and mind, and she's talking about our bowel movement. Constipated or diarrhea? If the undercurrent is of anger, then the expression would be in form of diarrhea. IBS, nausea, dizziness. Stress can have an expression in form of chest pain, in form of rapid heartbeat, palpitations. It will have an effect upon your eating patterns. If you are stressed, either you will not eat anything. Again, if the portion has a depression into it, then you won't like to eat anything. You then just like to be alone, left alone. Don't disturb, want to sleep, even in daytime. If the portion of anger is in your stress, then you'll be eating too much. If there is a sadness, and that sadness gives a feeling of an emptiness, that gives a false hunger pangs. So you will be eating again and again, and you still feel not satiated, not full. And sometimes that is when you are feeling a nausea or a dizziness, and when you are feeling a little off, that is when people tend to move towards alcohol or drugs or cigarettes. The emotional impact of stress is this, that it gives you moodiness. Now you will say, who is not moody? Especially for women, they are blamed for being too moody. Even if she's not having a PMS, if she's not, talking nicely, or she's a bit irritated, even the staffers sometimes say, are you having a PMS? Otherwise, why should you behave like that? The premenstrual syndrome. The truth is this, if you have stress, you will be moody, you will be irritable, you will have short temper. See, we are trying to analyze everything. And now I am into the emotional symptoms. And having an irritated behavior is a sign and symptom of there is too much stress over here. Sense of loneliness. Family is there and yet you are feeling lonely. And now, because it is so odd that you wouldn't like to share it with anybody, because people would say, "Tera dimag kharab ho gaya." You get labeled that you are crazy. So people just hide it within. They are lonely, but they'll hide it in. And this loneliness further aggravates the stress. And feeling of isolation. I'm alone. Everybody is there, yet the feeling is, I am alone. And this is something I am so surprised. Canada, America, 2 countries I have traveled far and wide, met hundreds of people. And in their privacy, they have a very happy family. But the moment they get a chance to be alone with me, they say, oh, I don't know why I feel like crying. And I know what the problem is. Feel isolated, they feel so isolated and lonely. They spend in the time again and again in the bathroom to cry so that nobody else sees. The mom is crying. No child wants to see his mom crying. It's too difficult to explain to a child. Too difficult to explain to any friend or relative. If you are crying and say, why are you crying? And you say, I don't know why. The dimag kharab. Right away they'll say, are you crazy? Why are you crying? What's the reason? If in continuity this goes on, then it affects your cognitive behavior. That is, you will be having very low concentration. Very, very low concentration, very, very poor memory. And that is why people tend to forget their keys. People tend to forget, what they were supposed to do. And sometimes they rush to do something, and by the time, say, they were in the bedroom, they go to the kitchen, by the time they reach the kitchen, they've forgotten, oh, main karan ke aaya si? Why was I here? Then they'll go back again, and then they'll ask, will you tell me, why did I go to kitchen? He said, well, you went to bring some water for me. Again, are you crazy? See, it's a very common thing which begins to happen. You go to a store to do your grocery, you buy everything, but not that thing which you were supposed to buy. And then you wonder what's gone wrong, then you write it on a slip. Smart people do that. Initially it used to be a paper and pen thing, now it is your, the mobile phone, and so you keep things, a list, what I need to buy and from where. So you make a route and you do everything. And then you go in your car, you do the first thing, you're supposed to do 2-3 things more, but then you forget that note which you made. And then you come back home. So, did you do the job? Oh yes. What did you do? Did you bring milk? Oh. I was wondering, what am I forgetting? I was wondering, what did I miss? And I walked past the milk booth so many times, and I would even look, oh, this kind of milk is there. But still it didn't strike me that I was supposed to pick up the milk. But I did pick up the butter. She said, will I make cha with butter? I need milk to make tea. Go on back now. So you go for the second time. So memory loss and low concentration. Reason is stress. Just simple stress. Now there is no meter or a gadget or a medical equipment which can gauge how much stress you have. It isn't there. So only you feel it. But sometimes the stress takes a toll onto your blood pressure. And many times people say to me, बाकी सब ठीक है, बस बीपी पता नहीं क्यों बढ़ गए. बाकी सब ठीक है. Well, if everything is fine, then your BP should have been fine. This year, with Indian Council of Medical Research, we did a clinical trial on one of a yogic method called Yoga Nidra, which I have been teaching from last 8 years. And the results were so good and great, but they were all subjective. And there was no scientific study done on Yoga Nidra. So we approached the institute, the Indian Council of Medical Research, and finally they agreed. And in Hyderabad, 7 scientists panel was made, and they chose 75 subjects from general masses, and their parameters were checked, and the BP was taken, even the glucose insulin levels were taken, CRP was taken, homocysteine levels was taken. So they added many more things to it. My concern was just about the high blood pressure, but they said, let's add on to these. So blood work is going to be done, so let's do what more we can do. So glucose, insulin, and the stress hormone, cortisol. See, isn't it strange? When you are in stress, your body is like a chemical factory. It gets order, make what? Cortisol. And the cortisol comes in the blood. And this cortisol makes you more worrisome. And if you have a higher amount of cortisol running in your bloodstream, you are now more probabilities of blockages is going to be there, of cardiomyopathy is going to be there, of palpitations is going to be there. Panic attacks are going to happen. Anxieties are going to happen. Just because you have more cortisol. Reason is your stress. So they took the cortisol levels were also taken. And then it went on that people would come, and every time their blood pressure is taken, they will do Yoga Nidra, they'll go back, they'll come again they will do repeat. And then every week the blood pressure was being monitored, and every month, at the month end, after 4 weeks, they would get the blood work done. And what they found was, the beauty of just doing Yoga Nidra was this, that their blood pressures came down from 143 by 118 to 72 by 120. So 143. So systolic and diastolic, both blood pressures came down. No medication. We had two groups. One who were the control group, one was the experimental group. One who were taking the meds, one who are not taking the meds. So they are just doing the Yoga Nidra. Now what was Yoga Nidra doing? Yoga Nidra is a process where you follow the instructions. You do it while lying down in a, when you want to sleep, you just lie down. So with no external sounds, meaning obviously mobile phone is off and you ask somebody if there is around and not to make a noise. We create a good environment which is good for sleep. But we are not going to sleep. We are going to remain conscious but in sleep. And it's a very contradictory statement what I am saying. Either you are conscious or you are asleep. If you are asleep, you lose the body consciousness. And if you have the body consciousness, then there is no sleep. Right? Right? But Yoga Nidra takes you to a state where you are in that sleep mode, but you are totally conscious. First step, you go into deep inhalations and exhalations. Step 2, you go into the attentively, we rotate our attention, our awareness into the body from toe to head, from limb to limb, left and right, chest, back, and every part, whichever you can feel. Now, these instructions are coming because you are lying down. I don't want the frontal brain to do any thinking. Hence, the suggestions are coming to take your attention now to your right thumb. You can do it even now. See, just now, with your eyes open. We don't even need to close your eyes. Just wherever your right hand is, make your attention go to your right thumb. You don't need to move it, just feel it. Right hand index finger. Right hand middle finger. Right hand third finger. Right hand pinky. Your wrist. Your elbow. Take your attention to your head. Take your attention to your chest. Take your attention to your stomach. Take your attention to your shoulders. Are you getting it? The only thing is when you will do with your closed eyes, the focus would be more sharper and the feeling will be more stronger. And then the attention is taken to the breathing and the reverse count is done. And then comes the part, this is the zone where usually people will doze off because they are going to be so relaxed that sleep will take over. But in the beginning, we did one thing, and that is taking a resolve, a sankalpa. I will not sleep. I will not sleep. And then my voice is there guiding you, anchoring you onto the waking state, and you don't go into the dream state or the sleep state. The voice is anchoring, and you are listening, and listening, and listening. And then the final stages of the visualization, which is a fantastic experience which one can have. Now, this Yoga Nidra procedure is not which I have invented, but this is a practice which was there in our yoga scriptures, which was there in our Upanishads. And it was just well compiled, and we created a system. I made an audio CD out of that. It's digitally also available. Just for one reason, that not everybody can come to me to get their mind sorted. Strange. You are living with the mind. Mind is not sorted. Mind is in a stress. Yet you are not seeking a help to sort your own mind. Isn't it odd? People are unhappy, people are lonely, people are sad, they're crying in their bathrooms, they can't even sleep. And they are having high blood pressures and not understanding this, that this high blood pressure puts them into a risk zone of having a brain stroke or having a heart stroke or having a kidney stroke. If you are in the stress and if your diastolic and systolic blood pressure keeps rising, the chance of having a stroke is right there. And when I see people, when I meet people who after the stroke are now paralyzed, they can't talk, they can't go to bathroom, bedridden, nurse is taking care, children busy, wife gets angry, how long will she take care? And then he or she is crying in their bed. And I really feel like saying, why didn't you do Yoga Nidra? Why couldn't you take control of your own mind? Why couldn't you be stress-free? Why? That's a very big why. Unfortunately, the medical fraternity tries to bring down your blood pressure with the medication. But if I have any pharmacist sitting over here or a doctor sitting over here, they know it, that the side effects of taking these blood pressure medicines are too many. And that's why they need to increase the dosage. They'll say, cut down your salt. They'll say, cut down this and that. They'll say, go for a walk. Why I chose the ICMR to do this? Because that was my objective, that let all the doctors who really wish health for their patients recommend and prescribe their patients to do Yoga Nidra. If you do Yoga Nidra every day, for surely, it's not now my word, it's a science word. It's the word of the Indian Council of Medical Research scientists. 2 of the scientists came to Delhi to submit me the preliminary report. And they were saying that we ourselves were very suspicious and very doubtful. How can just 40 minutes of lying down and following some instructions can improve upon the blood pressure? But we were shocked when we found that not only the BP came down, but also their cortisol levels came down. And also their insulin levels came down. And also the inflammation levels came down, the CRP. Also the homocysteine levels came down. We are sheerly shocked, that's what I can say. And on behalf of our council, we really wish to say thank you for giving us this beautiful method. It's not just a mumbo-jumbo said by some illiterate yogi. It is something which now the science is agreeing to, and science is ready to endorse it. As I speak, my people are working to submit this report to the health minister, to all the senior concerned people, and all to the senior who are running the medical institutes. And then, I say, please go ahead, you can do your own research in your own way, but just do the Yoga Nidra, and let's see what the result would be. Mind can be your enemy, mind can be your friend. When mind is stressed out, you have created an enemy in you. Although Jesus says, love your enemy, but stress is not the enemy which you should love. And we don't have to fight with our own mind. We just need to understand that worry is not going to give you anything. Worry, and Ayurveda says, don't eat hot curry. If you eat hot curry, you will be having heartburns and acidity and flatulence. And if you keep on worrying, then you are putting yourself into a very dangerous situation. And if some health crisis happens, then nobody but you yourself would be responsible for that. And I feel being your true friend, that's my responsibility towards all of you, to let you know about the beauty and the science of this yogic practice. That when you do Yoga Nidra, and also when you do the Nadi Shodhan Pranayam, it is like taking a medication. In my years of experience with people, I found while doing the Yoga Nidra for little longer times, say 2 to 3 weeks, they begin to have a better sleep. And when you have a better sleep, then you have a better digestion. When you have a better sleep, you have good hormones. When you have a better sleep, your skin will glow. So lady, if you want to be beautiful, do Yoga Nidra every day. Because that's the way to come out of that stress mode into an absolute peaceful and calmed and relaxed mode. Not only, again, it is not something which is just affecting your mind and giving you good time that you did, oh, it was so nice and so peaceful. Yes, it is going to be indeed very peaceful and very, very nice. But the important thing is, it is going to help you where the problems are. And if the problems are in the body, then this is the way to make your body disease-free. See, disease in English, dis-ease. The dis-ease combined to becomes disease. When mind is in dis-ease, then there is a disease. And if mind is in not dis-ease, how can there be any disease? So if a body is diseased, then something is wrong in the mind. All religions have been talking about having great faith on God. But I find it is like a joke. People go to Gurdwara, people go to temples, people go to gurus, and yet they have no faith. They don't have that devotion, they don't have that bhakti. They think so they have it, but they don't have it. I always say this, the love for Lord, the faith for Lord is a medicine on its own. If we really had it, we would have been stress-free. But if we have stress, then this means our love for Lord is a sham. It's not true. We are just being a hypocrite. We wish to believe I'm a great devotee. Just because I write down a thick check to the religious institution doesn't make me a devout. I am a devout if I am stress-free. I am a devout if my blood pressure is fine. See, I don't wish to point finger onto you, and I don't wish to say that you are a bad person, but I really wish to say is this, that you can be so great. There is a possibility. I wish to say is that you can rise so high, you can be so great, that not only your mind is stress-free, even your body is disease-free. Whether it is Bani of Guru Nanak, or it is song of Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, or it is the Upanishad, or it is some fakir speaking, they all talk about love. They all talk about love. But when our mind has been tuned and trained to worry all the time, how can you love Lord? People sit down to do their mantra or their part, and mind is habituated to do worry. So they are reading the holy lines and mind is worrying. They are doing their part and mind is worrying. They are doing their mala, turning the beads, and mind is worrying. They are sitting in Gurdwara, Ragiji is singing, but mind is worrying. They are sitting with children, you worry. You go out of the home, you worry. You sit in a home, you worry. You go to office, you worry. And you worry. And then this worry doesn't let you sleep. Another problem. When you can't sleep, tossing and turning all night, very big punishment. Very big punishment. To be able to be in a zone where you don't worry, it's not something which you just choose to do one day. Oh, okay, I will not worry. No. What we need to do is we need to create a space in the mind which is filled with purity, light, and love. And if mind is filled with purity, light of wisdom, and love, then it would be so easy to do what I am asking you to do.